Today we're comparing two different stick vacuums from Black & Decker, the Powerseries Plus and the Powerseries Extreme Pet. The best thing about both vacuums is they use the same 20V max batteries that power other Black & Decker products like weed trimmer, impact driver, drill, and so on. So I can easily swap batteries between the different tools instead of waiting for the battery to charge back up. They both come with the same 2 amp hour size battery. The Extreme Pet vacuum has a slightly different wall mount where you can actually charge the vacuum while it's on the mount, where the Plus has your typical wall charger that's going to come with a lot of other Black & Decker products. The Powerseries Plus has a runtime of up to 44 minutes versus 55 minutes on the Extreme Pet. Just keep in mind, that's in hand vac mode on the lowest power setting, and both are pretty slow at charging back up. It took almost 4 hours. So again, it's nice that you can just switch between batteries. The AutoSense technology on the Plus vacuum automatically changes suction power based on the floor type, which seemed fairly accurate in my testing. As I went over rugs, it ramped up the power and then went back to the lower setting when I was going over my wood laminate. With the Extreme Pet version, you've got 3 different levels of power versus 2 different levels on the Plus version. The Powerseries Plus has 1 LED light right there on the front of the floor head versus 2 LED lights on the front of the Extreme Pet. So a little bit brighter on the Extreme version. You'll also notice they're using a little bit different setup with different style of dustbins. It looks a little fancier with a rubber grip that you can twist, which helps clean the filter. But I feel like the Plus vacuum is actually easier to remove the dustbin. The Extreme vacuum's definitely easier to empty, but it's a little harder to release and put back on, where the Plus feels like it's much easier to get the dustbin off. You're also going to get more attachments with the Extreme version, while the Plus only comes with a crevice tool. As far as how loud these vacuums are, they're pretty comparable at the highest suction power and somewhat close on the lowest, although the Extreme Pet version is a little more quiet on the lowest setting. They're very similar in size, but the Extreme Pet vacuum is just a little bit taller and it's heavier. It's 3.95 pounds for the handheld portion of the Extreme, 3.5 pounds for the Plus. And then with everything put together, you've got 6.15 pounds for the Plus versus 6.8 pounds for the Extreme. Surprisingly, the Powerseries Extreme struggled quite a bit trying to sweep up small dog kibble on our wood laminate floor, while the Plus vacuum seemed to have no problems in the same test. I tried several different ways, and the Extreme Pet version struggled way more than a vacuum should. I feel like the Plus vacuum probably sits a little bit higher, so it's easier to sweep things up. Now, the Extreme Pet vacuum does do a pretty good job picking up hair on carpet, but it did struggle picking up hair off of the wood laminate flooring, where the Plus vacuum again had no problems with either one. So if you have mostly carpet, the Pet vacuum might be a good option, but we have mostly wood laminate, so the Plus version seems to do quite a bit better. One advantage you have with the Extreme Pet version is you can sweep the steps after taking off the stick, where you don't have that option with the Plus version since the floor head is not detachable. So I would say if you have other 20V max tools from Black & Decker, then it would make sense to get one of these stick vacuums to get an extra battery, especially since it's a little larger at 2 amp hours, over 1.5 amp hours on most of my tools. But surprisingly, the Powerseries Plus seems to be a better vacuum in my testing. It's also lighter, so it's easier on the wrist, and of course it's cheaper. So unless you have mostly carpet and a lot of steps covered by carpet, I would definitely pick the Powerseries Plus over the Extreme Pet.